Hello, Sarah, and thank you, San Rafael, the Federation of San Rafael Neighborhoods Board, and others who have joined us today. We are very lucky to have Sarah Tipple, who oversees the Business Improvement District, and she's here to tell us what it's all about and to answer any questions we may have. So go ahead, Sarah. Tell us a little bit about yourself and your organization.
Thank you guys so much for having me. Does anybody know what the San Rafael Business and Improvement District is? With show of hands. I got two, and I don't know about the Lori or Sandra, but Daniel, you do. Okay, so a little bit of background about me first, and then I'll go into the bid. I used to manage a local event production company, and our office was on 4th Street, 4th and Lincoln. So I was part of the bid. I had no idea what the bid was or what the business improvement did. I just knew that it was there and they were great and wonderful. So fast forward to 2018, I left the event production job, and we did a lot of really big events. We did the Fillmore Jazz Festival, the North Beach Festival, the St. Patrick's Day Parade in the city. We did the Butter and Egg Days, the Taste of Yountville. We did the big Snow Hill event in downtown San Rafael. We did the Taste of Downtown San Rafael, the San Rafael Art and Wine Festival, and so we did a lot of local events, but like a lot of big ones. And I just got burnt out. And so I started working at the Marin Center, where instead of producing events, what I did was I would rent space to other event producers. And then I got a little bored because event production, I don't know if you guys know, is really intense. And what I decided to do at that time was then take on a side job. And I started working in addition to working at the Marin Center, I got hired as the artist liaison for the Mill Valley Fall Arts Festival. And we had, it's a big event by a nonprofit, and I just organized one element of the one event. Then COVID hit, and then I became a disaster service worker working for the county, and it was a wonderful position. And I was there administering the first drive up testing sites, and then we transitioned and we went into the and we went in and started doing all of the vaccinations, and it was just amazing. It was a lot of fun. Then the nonprofit that I worked for, the Marin Cultural Association, lost their funding for to pay their staff, which was me. I was the only staff that worked for that nonprofit. And then I decided to start doing looking for another job. And I got a job working for the Petaluma Downtown Association, just helping my old client. And it was wonderful working for the Petaluma Downtown Association. And then a job opened up in San Rafael for the Business Improvement District. And it was a part-time job. They only had 20 hours a week allocated. And so I said, I can't do a part-time job. I need a full-time job. But the part-time job in Petaluma was available, and a part-time job in San Rafael was available. And I also was still the artist liaison for the Mill Valley Fall Arts Festival. So everything went into alignment. So I currently have three jobs: the San Rafael Business Improvement District, the Petaluma Downtown Association, and the Mill Valley Fall Arts Festival. So that is my background. And I also grew up here. My mom grew up here and my grandpa grew up here. So I love San Rafael, and I'm just like madly in love with being a part of this community. And I also live not in the West End. I live in Gerstle Park, but it feels like the West End sometimes because I can walk to the Mayflower if I want to. So I have the pleasure of being the director of the Business Improvement District. So that's what I'm going to talk about today with you guys. And I'm going to share my screen because one of the coolest things about my my experience is I'm a tech person. I love technology. I love art. I love websites. I love educating people on all the things that we're doing because I don't want to have everything memorized, and I want to be able to share information with people. So once I do something, I can put it on the website. I do web design. I can do art design. I can obviously I have a background in events, and so I'm going to go over the website because what happens is once I share this information with you guys, then you can now have this information and you can share it with your neighbors and family and all that fun stuff. So I'm just going to go over, I'm going to go ahead and just share my screen here. And this is our, can you guys see this? Is it all on? Okay. So this is our website, downtownsanrafael.org. And website has is it has a lot of information about downtown, who we are, what the BID is, things to do, city information about parking. And one of the interesting things that I get a lot, and this has been prior to this job, but I have anytime I'm doing an event in the city, whether it's San Francisco or Yountville or Petaluma, people are like, oh, you work for the city. I don't work for the city. I work for nonprofits that help promote downtowns and that help promote cities. So I'm not a city employee. What and I'll go over this in a second, but it's just a common question that I've been getting ever since I've been doing events for cities. Cities rarely produce their own events. That's the job of the downtown associations and the business improvement districts and the neighborhood associations and chambers. They're the ones that want to bring business down. Cities have their own, problems that they got to deal with. So when I took this job in 2022, I did a revamp of our website to keep it clean and informative and fun and fresh. So basically, anything that you guys need to know about the Business Improvement District and downtown San Rafael is here. I keep everything updated. I have this, the basic what's coming up, what's happening in downtown, parking, getting to know who the bid is and what we are. I added this downtown news section. I do a monthly newsletter. I don't know if you guys get it, but the monthly newsletter it's not just for the businesses and it's not just for the public to know about our events. It's a mixture of everything because it is about what's happening with the bid, what's happening with the city, and how to get people to downtown. Because our one of our missions is not just beautification and promoting businesses, but it's bringing feet to the street because that's what we can do to make sure that we keep the city vibrant. So I have this downtown news section, and anything that comes up, whether it's from a business and they tell me something, or things that are going to be happening in downtown, or anything that anybody wants to tell me with the city, the chamber, improvements that are happening within our district, I put it here, and then I also put it in the monthly newsletter. So this is just like our monthly newsletter running thing. And then this is something new that I just added this year, which I absolutely love, because we do have an event page of all the events that I coordinate and other events that are coordinated by other organizations that are much larger. But businesses will say, "Hey, I want to put something up about my business to see, to say, hey, 75% off event, or live music, or trivia night, or whatever it is." And so I created this calendar, and all they have to do is just click this button. And then boom, it just goes straight to me. I get an email alert. Do you approve it or not? And I approve within the district. I do approve things that aren't within the district. Like I'll do a couple events that are at Falkirk, for example, but I have to consult the committee just to double check to make sure it's fine. So if there's anything that you guys that are, want to promote that's event specific that will bring people to downtown, this is where you want to add it, which is really great. And again, it's right on our downtownsanrafael.org website. And what I did too, we had some extra fundraising dollars from one of our events, May Madness last year, that was a big fundraiser. And through that fundraising dollars, I'm able to create an ad with the Marin IJ, and it goes out every single week, and it's right here. It goes directly to downtownsanrafael.org #events. So every single week there's this really cute little image, and it's like, what's happening in downtown? And it goes straight here. So it's really fun, and it's a way to not just promote downtown, but it's a way to promote the businesses too. And it happens every week, and I really love that. And that's a new thing. So this is really exciting. About the bid. This is our district. And I don't know if you guys can see that, it's kind of small. But what the Business Improvement District is it started in 1979. Here's the little description. And the purpose was to revitalize and beautify and energize the downtown. And what happens is if your business, and this border, this is for the 2018 one. I don't know what the 1979 one looks like, but I'm sure it was much smaller. But so you can see here, there's the standard, which is the blue, and then the premium, which is the pink. And this is what businesses pay into. if they're type, this is the type of business, if they're standard retail ground floor, they pay $175 per year, and that goes to the city of San Rafael with their business license. And then the city then takes that money and they move it. And then every year we get the assessment check. What's really interesting about this is um, we had, prior to my involvement in 2018 and like the early 2000s, there was between 80 to $100,000 being collected. You can do a lot with that. You can do all types of really cool things with 80 to $100,000. When I started in 2022, we collected $54,000, which was a shock to our treasurer. And I had no idea because I had just started. I was like, oh, that seems like a lot of money. That's great. He said, no, that's not good. That's, 20,000 less than before. And it just was really kind of shocking. And I don't know how good you guys are at math, but if you have $50,000, $54,000, and you have to pay a staff person, and you have to pay for insurance, and you have to pay for phone and internet and computer and paper and um, computer programs, you can't do that with $54,000. We were basically in the red right when I first started. So I hit the ground running, and we basically just stopped paying the web designer, which was fine because I know how to do it. We stopped paying for anyone to do any of our graphics because I know how to do that. So I just basically took everything on myself, and I just kind of became this one woman show to just get things done. And then through my background and experience with events, events are fundraisers. And all of the events that I did, like the Union Street Fair and the Fillmore Jazz Festival, those were fundraisers for the organizations, and they would raise upwards of $50,000 for those organizations to then use to beautify and do lights and all these fun things. So what I started doing was focusing a lot on events and just making sure that we were raising money through events. And then 2023, we got a little bit more assessment dollars. In 2024, we got a little bit more assessment dollars. And then in 2025, we're getting a little bit more. So we're on the up of the downturn of the assessment dollars. And I'll go over a couple of reasons on why it was so low those few years. So this is it, and this is all on our website. If anybody wants to know how much it costs and how how the bid makes money, this is how we make money through the assessments from each individual business. One cool thing too is that we have this amazing board of 10 people. Where is it? Oh, here we go. Terrence of San Rafael Martial Arts, he's the president, and he's amazing and fabulous. Adam Dawson is the vice president of Mike Spikes. Toby Lesson of Body Wise Massage, she's the secretary. And then we have this really great team of business owners that attend our monthly board meetings. And they're just amazing, and they all have really great ideas, and they're fired up, and they love downtown San Rafael. And basically what happens in these meetings is everyone comes together. The president shares his report, I share my report, and then the little committees communicate about what events are going on, beautification ideas. And then we talk about like what are cool things that we can do and execute. And I'm the executor. They're the ones, they have their own businesses to run. So they come up with an idea of like, oh, I really want to showcase our restaurants. Can we do a restaurant week? Or I really want to do this. And then I do research and I try to execute it. And we do, sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. But these guys are awesome. And I feel so lucky having this board because they're just a really great group of people. And one of the really cool things that we just started doing because we were able to make some more fundraising dollars through events is we hired a social media contractor. And with our social media contractor, I do most of the social media event related stuff. But with this specific role, having our own social media contractor, all she does is just focus on promoting businesses. That's it. And I don't know if you guys are fans on our social media, but she does such a great job. She's constantly talking about businesses, this new business here, and this old business has this new thing, and it's just constant. And it's really, really cool, and it's on fire. And I absolutely love having Erica as part of the team, and she's really great. Oh, I just love what she's doing. So I hope you guys are on our social media feeds. And then you can also read all of our reports. Like I put everything here. We have all of our agendas and our minutes, and all these things are just all on our website. So if anyone's ever interested on what we're doing or what we're about to do or what we did last year or what happened in 2021, you can see it all there. So it's all on the website, and it's kind of cool. now this, I created this things to do page. Um, we have an events page, an arts and entertainment, this business calendar, which I already went over. Oh, isn't this image cool? I created that with ChatGPT. It kind of looks like downtown, but kind of not. But anyway, that's the ad that goes that I created that gets used, that picked up by the Marin IJ. And then dining and drink, shopping, and beauty and wellness. And it's cool because these all are linked to all, everything here is linked to our, we have a directory. And so our directory was created prior to my arrival. And it was the businesses had to sign up themselves. And you know, businesses, they don't really do all that. So I've been slowly trying to add all of our businesses to it. And what you can do once you get to the directory is you could do a search for category, arts, culture and entertainment, automotive, beauty. This one's the most popular, dining, food, beverage, and breweries. And I know that's the most popular one because anytime someone does a search, I get an alert. So it's really cool to see, you know, how often people are actually using this, which is really fun. And yeah, people just want to know what's happening in downtown, and these are all the businesses. And when there's a new one, I add them. And so it's really fun to have that. But then this is like, if you don't know how the directory works and you just want to know this, or you just want to know dining or just shopping or just this, you could just go straight to this page. So our events page is, when I first started the event page, it had, I like having all the events on one page. And then when it's over, I change the date. Oh, it's still loading. And I move it all the way down to the bottom. Oh, hold on. Let it load. Um, you can kind of see the images are just taking time. And the reason the reason why I like having all the events on one page, because prior to me, they would just have the upcoming ones, and then they would just re-add the ones that were coming up, is because I want people to know what's happening all year long. You don't have to wait to see, like, you know, in June what's happening, or let's see if it loaded. Okay, here we go. So as you can see, the Docklands just ended, and it was in April of this day. So what I did was I moved it all the way down to the bottom, changed the date, added the 2026, because I know it's happening next year. I know Earth Day's happening. I know that, you know, I know these things are all happening. And so what's cool about this is that it's an existing, I don't know, map of all the big downtown events. So if anybody ever wants to know, and then if someone finds this page, then they can start promoting these themselves. I mean, they are, you know, the dates aren't really set, as you can tell, but it's still something there. It's like, oh, the menorah lighting, fourth annual. Okay, that's coming up in 2025. I just don't know the date yet. So back to this. So the reason when you click on each one of these, to also, it's not just a little calendar. When you click on it, it takes you to that event page, which is cool. And it says what it is, and it has a little image. And then if you have like more information, this is a really cool event. I don't know if you guys are there, if you guys are all going to come. It's not a really big event, but I love it so much because my mom went to San Rafael High School, and she would tell me so many stories of how she would take my grandpa's car, say she was going to the library, and then come back and have 50 miles back on the odometer. And my grandpa would say, "Where? I thought you said you were going to the library." Well, anyway, she did go to the library, but she drove up and down 4th Street. So this is happening this tomorrow at 6 o'clock. There's going to be probably about 50 cars meeting at Terra Linda High School. And then at 6 o'clock, they leave, and then they just drive up and down 4th Street. And it's really, really cool. I sit at like Tam Commons or something, and I chill and I just watch the cars go by and I cheer. And half the people, they have no idea what's happening, but it's just really cool. And it's like taking a step back into time. So this is like it's not an event, but it's something really cool. So if you guys are bored, come to downtown San Rafael, grab a drink or some dinner, or just walk around and you'll see it. It's really fun. And the weather's supposed to be perfect too. Um, so then we also have our May Madness car show and parade. And when you click on this one, it goes directly to the actual website. This is a different website. But it's like got, you know, all this information. And this event is currently downtown San Rafael's biggest event as far as like, you know, footprint and attendance. And it's also the BID's biggest fundraiser. Last year we were able to raise $26,000, and then 13,000 went to the BID for beautification, and then 13,000 goes to Rick Lewis of Gold Rush. It doesn't go to him, but then he gets to help decide how to beautify downtown with it. And that's where you got these Tivoli lights. That's how that started, was through Rick's contribution of the May Madness fundraising dollars years ago. So it's really cool. I mean, you can see what happens when we have fundraising dollars, and it's just great. So May Madness car show is coming up, and it is this Saturday, and it has music and, you know, all these fun things and trophies. And so it's interesting because it is downtown San Rafael's biggest event. It's a car show. Some people aren't into car shows, but it's more than that. I think it shows a lot about our history. And I think it talks, you know, it shows about community and just coming to downtown. And San Rafael looks so vibrant and wonderful. And I had a buddy who'd never been to San Rafael, and he brought his car. He lives in the city, and he brought his car a couple years ago. And he said, San Rafael is so cool. I wish I would have known about it before I started renting in the city, because I would have preferred to live here. So it just really shows how cool downtown San Rafael is when it's just filled with people and cars and fun. So there's that one coming up. And then on this page, what I do is I also promote any event where there's going to be a street closure. So for example, the Youth and Arts C Street Celebration, the BID doesn't produce this event. And so when you click on it, you can see it goes directly to goes to the, I gotta fix that. That goes to last year's, but I'll fix it. But it goes to their page on their event. But there is a street closure, which I think is really important, because there's nothing worse, and it happens all the time, someone saying, I didn't know about the street closure. Well, I put it in all the newsletters. It's on the overhead. It's on the no parking sign. So I don't, you know, I pay for a lot of ads personally for my events. I know they've done a lot of promotion. So I just do one extra step to let businesses and community members know this event's coming. You got to come, you got to check it out. And it's on May 17th. The same thing with the art walk. This is not a BID event. This is coordinated by Artworks Downtown. You can see I write that in there. And I just promote it for them because it's a wonderful downtown event. The farmers market, they're doing a big pivot, and this is something I'm waiting for them to give me a press release, because it's kind of big news, but they don't want to do the Thursday night farmers market anymore. They want to do a second Friday summer market, where they want to do something that's more festival-y, but like a maker's thing with music. And so what they're going to do is they're going to do June 13th, 11th, and 8th. So just 3. The second Friday of each month, they're going to do a summer market. And I hope it works. I know last year they were struggling with numbers. Pre-COVID, I think they were doing pretty good. And I had been going to the Thursday night farmers market for probably 20 years. So I'm going to miss it. But if this is what the producer wants to do and they want to pivot, then that's what they're going to do. And so all the information's there. It goes to their website. California Film Institute, whenever they have a film festival, I make sure to promote it on our website, because I love having them in town, and they bring a lot of people. And if they bring a lot of people to our downtown, then that means there's going to be a lot of people eating in downtown and walking in downtown and making it vibrant. So the partner with California Film Institute is really important. I love working with them, and I love what they provide. I don't know the date yet for that one. A second annual Downtown Pride Artwork. I'm really proud of this one. This was something that I conceptualized when we had some Downtown San Rafael Art District funding available to us. And I wanted to do something that was art related, but that was also an event, but that was also contributing to more of our cultural needs. And so I can't do big street fairs by myself. It's just too hard. But what I can do is I created this Pride art. Let me see if I can take you to this. So it's an art. This is last year's information, because I haven't done this year's yet. But basically what you do is you download this map, and then the map takes you to all these different businesses throughout all of downtown San Rafael, and they have a beautifully painted window. Let me see if I have. Yeah, here's examples. So love is love, and there's that, and then all genres welcome. And there's examples of really cool artwork on the windows and when you're driving down downtown San Rafael, you can see this cohesive message. And each business had I created a little hashtag pride in each one. I don't know if you can see it. There's like one right there, and each one had a different color. And so then what you do is you download the map and then you write down a cup of gold had a red hashtag, and then you turn it in, and then everybody that turned it in was entered to win. They were entered to win this really cool Pride shirt that was donated by California Cowboy. So it was a lot of fun. And then it was also educational. What do these colors mean? Why are they in the flag? And so on the map, it had this little exploration of all what all of these things mean. So it was fun. It was a scavenger hunt. It was educational. It was colorful, vibrant. It got people downtown, because that's the whole point, to get people to walk around in downtown. And so I think it did a really good job. Last year was our first year. This year's our second year. And that's what I love about doing these is I try them, and if they work, I keep going. And then the same thing with this Juneteenth. It's hard because it's the same month as the Pride Art Walk. And I wanted to be smart about how I showcase this. So what I did was, instead of creating an event, I created a page on our website that shows all the Juneteenth activities all over San Rafael and beyond. So I don't really have to produce something, but what I can do is highlight and promote all these other really cool things that are happening in our neighborhood. And so all of these things, and I created a little calendar, and there's book readings, and there's family fun, and just really, really cool stuff. So then again, that was just a way to bring people to downtown, but I didn't have to be there to do all of the grunt work. This event started because when I first got hired, the board in the interview process said, I want you to help us showcase our assets. I want someone to say, okay, look at all these cool things that downtown San Rafael has, and showcase it and promote it. And we have our own baseball team. Nobody else in Marin has their own baseball team, and everyone's saying how great Mill Valley is and how great, these other places are. We have our own baseball team. So this was one of the features that I wanted to highlight on our website. And so what we do is we partner with them every single year, and we don't produce an event, but what we do is it's BID night. So a business is invited to throw out the first pitch, a business is invited to sing, and then businesses are invited to donate raffle prizes. And it's just a way to partner with this really great organization. And also, if there's 100 people sitting in the stands, then now we're promoting the businesses, because you can win a gift card to Rebound Bookstore. Oh, they didn't know about Rebound Bookstore? Well, now they do. So it was just a really cool thing for them to it was just a cool way for me to think of, like, how do I combine downtown with this really cool asset that San Rafael has. Dancing Under the Lights. This one's an interesting one. Do you guys remember Dining Under the Lights that took place after COVID? Dining Under the Lights after COVID was a city and BID program, and it was prior to my joining. And what happened with the city said, let's shut down the street. Let's allow businesses and retail and restaurants to just sell in the street. We'll close it. We'll do all the work. And the city and the BID worked really well together. And they did that. The retail wasn't too keen on bringing all their stuff out, because for obvious reasons, you can't really do that and then have the staff inside and outside. But the restaurants loved it, right? So the Dining Under the Lights was massive in 2020. And then in 2021, it got a little bit smaller. In 2022, a little smaller. 2023, a little smaller, meaning less people were coming because they could go to concerts and they could travel and they could go to all these other things. So the desire for it ended a little bit. And so what happened was, rather than just killing it off, because I don't like killing anything, I pivoted and I turned it into Dancing Under the Lights. And what Dancing Under the Lights is it's the same concept, but it's just one block. It's one day a year, and we get a big name band, and we have food trucks and jumpies and porta-johns and like all the normal infrastructure of an actual event. Whereas Dining Under the Lights was a closed street, and maybe the businesses were going to put tables and chairs out. It was just weird. It was, it drove an event producer a little nuts, because it wasn't my event. It was the businesses. Like, they were in charge of their own little block. So this was a way to pivot and make it something bigger and better. And last year, oh my gosh, I don't know if you guys came, but seeing the streets filled with, I mean, just look at this. I love these photos. And I put photos of every event on on each individual page too. It's taking a minute to load, but if you ever want to show off any of your, your neighborhood city events, I mean, there's some just really cool. I just love that. It's like it's just they couldn't have been better. The weather was great. And again, this was the first annual. We've never done this before. So I love this one. This one's one of my favorite. So basically this was a pivot from dining under the lights. It's now dancing under the lights. It worked. We didn't make any money. We were, I think, like just barely broke even. So this year we're hoping to get a little bit more in sponsorships, but we'll see what happens. Um, I love that one. That one's a lot of fun. The West End Block Party is very similar to Dancing Under the Lights in that it was born out of Dining Under the Lights. And Dining Under the Lights, again, was a block, in front of the State Room, or a block in front of Vinantico, or a block in front of Tam Commons. And each individual business would hire a band and set out their tables and chairs. Sometimes they'd get into it and sometimes they wouldn't. Well, the block in front of the Pint Size, he has a background in event production. And what he did was he did a really good job getting great bands. He did a really good job creating a beautiful little welcoming, I don't know if there's photos here. Yeah, he like the carpeting, and he actually purchased some of my old turf from my boss's turf from the Fillmore Jazz Festival and created this really cool little area. Oh yeah, it's like right behind me here. And he created a really cool little vibe of music and community, and it was right next to the restaurant, so it worked a lot better than other blocks did. And so when Dining Under the Lights was happening, it was like this weird scavenger hunt to try to find the best band, and this clearly was just the best. And so what ended up happening was when Dining Under the Lights phased out, Adam wanted to keep it going because it was a great community event. We did run into he did run into some issues with some sound affecting the neighbors. He's been working with the city on that, and they have a caliber reader, and he's been doing a good job working on that. And it's a nice way to see the community come together. This is all last year's stuff. He's still working on this year's stuff. But again, we're promoting it. The bid is promoting it for him, and then we're providing the insurance, and then the city is another partner, and then they're helping provide the infrastructure with the barricades. And so it's a really great, community event. And Porch Fest, we do not produce it, but because it's a ginormous event that brings a lot of people downtown, I put it on our website to make sure people know about it and stay informed. The Hops and Vine Stroll, this is something that my old boss and we used to produce a lot of, and it's a fundraiser, and it's really cool because there's no street closure. What it is there's a pop-up and a table in the plaza, and people can purchase tasting tickets, and they get a glass and they get a map of all the different tasting locations. It's a scavenger hunt for beer, wine, cider, kombucha. It's really fun. And again, this brings people into the businesses, which is the point. A lot of events or a lot of businesses hate me because I closed the street in my old job, and now they have competition because there's a food truck, or there's this or there's that. This one puts people directly into their business, and so they love it. The businesses love this one. This is last year's information, but it's a lot of fun, and we get probably between 200 and 500 people depending on weather, and hopefully I pick a good day where there's not competing stuff. But the Hops and Vine Stroll is a lot of fun for the businesses and the community, which is great. This is just our annual mixer. And again, these are just things that we just promote for folks. Dia de los Muertos, Trick or Treat is pretty standard. The holiday event, my old production company used to produce it. He's back producing it, which is great. The elf hunt, it's really similar to the Hops and Vine Stroll, except the Pride Art Walk, where you get a map, you go into the businesses, you find the elf, you write the elf's name down, and then you get prizes. And actually, this is one of my favorites. My old boss and I in the city, we used to produce this, and I loved it because it was simple, got people into the businesses during the busiest shopping season of the year. And then I've had pictures of the kids that win. So we collect 500 of these maps. And then at the end, we pull out about five or so, depending on how many prizes we get. And then we get to call these families. And, you know, this one mom cried. She was so happy. I never win anything. And it's just cute. And we have prizes donated by all these different businesses. So it's again, putting people into the businesses and these kids. Oh my God, it's just so cute. I think this one's my favorite. Just hearing the joy on the other end when I'm talking to people when they're winning. So this is just a really good way to get people into the businesses again, which is what I try to do. The menorah lighting, which is really wonderful. This is the Lunar New Year scavenger hunt. Again, I use some funding from the Downtown San Rafael Arts District. And if you go to downtown San Rafael during the Lunar New Year, you can see all these different really cool paintings. And there is let's see if I can find the photos. I don't have them on here yet. But you can find, there's a snake, and then there's a hidden letter, and then you download the map, and then you have to unscramble the map. And then when you turn the map in, then you can win prizes. And the people, when they turn it in and I reply, oh, thank you, you know, tell me what you liked about it, what you didn't like about it. Every single person said, I loved that I got to go into business or see businesses that I didn't know exist. Because downtown San Rafael's long. You're not going to ever walk up and down it and stare at all the businesses, but people love this. It's like, it's just fun and it's part of our community. And you know, you don't have to buy anything at this one, but you see it and you come back, which is the point too. It's like, you know, these businesses may not make money right then and there, but they will eventually. So I love this one too. And then the February, that's just a promotion to just highlight all of our, it's a smart promotion, the smart train they did. And they had a stop in Petaluma and they had a stop in Santa Rosa. And I was like, whoa, 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 we're going to do something big. And so then I went home and I created this website. And then I just started listing all the cool things happening for the February, because a lot of places were doing it. And it's just about showcasing our assets and all the cool places that we have that people may not know about. It's all on this one page. And then this gets picked up by the IJ and the Pacific Sun. And it's a lot of fun. This one's easy. I like that one. Earth Day and then Docklands. So here we are back down to April. So this is kind of this is our annual event and promotional program for calendar for the year. These are the things that I spend a lot of time on trying to get people to come to downtown, get feet on the street. And one of the really cool things that happened over the last year was the Downtown San Rafael Arts District. Just rad. This organization that I'm a part of, and I'm a part of the Downtown San Rafael Arts District with Artworks Downtown, California Film, the city, Marin Society of the Artists, and Youth and Arts. And this organization was awarded money to use for the district. So we created this website that I manage. And with the money, we've been doing a bunch of really cool things to bring feet to the street and to help beautify. You can just see here on the programming page what we've done so far. And so I used money to do the art walk. We used money to do to paint some of the utility boxes and all these really cool things. I have to upload. There's some more programs I need to upload. But the coolest thing is that there is about to be 5 public art pieces executed in downtown San Rafael with some of this money. And we just hired actually, I have it on our news page. We just hired a creative team selected to lead this new public art installation. And the organization that we hired is called Local Edition Creative, and they're wonderful. And they are going to, with the city and with DISRAD, execute 5 public art pieces. And it's going to be really cool. And we have until June to spend the money. So you will see all of this stuff happening. And don't kill me, but I really, really wanted to do something under the freeway where the blue flowers are, but Caltrans is saying can't touch it. They're saying we can't do anything unless it's monotone. So we don't want to spend this art money to paint monotone over that. So that's just going to have to, I don't know what's going to happen, but man, I was bummed. I really wanted art to be there, but it's not. So there's more information here if you guys want to read up on this. Also with this DISRAD funding, I sent out an RFP, no, an RFP for local businesses. So this is public art. I sent something out for businesses to say, hey, we want to do a mural on our wall. And I got back 4 responses. So hopefully, I haven't had time to review them yet, but hopefully you'll be seeing public art on the TMB wall, on the Meta wall, the Meta Yoga wall on Seahos. Hopefully something I think on Artistry Studios and potentially art, the new art spot on C Street. So that is a lot of stuff that's coming up, and it's just really exciting, this art things, that I'm just really proud to be a part of all this.
Sarah, I might interrupt now
Yeah.
because we wanted to finish at about 8 o'clock.
Okay.
And I'm
I
certain,
just finished.
oh, did you really?
Yeah.
I'm certain that there are questions. But if you could just tell people how to get in touch with you on social media.
Oh yeah, you just go to downtownsanrafael.org and you'll see the social media buttons on the top.
Okay. A couple of other quick sort of clarifying questions, and then we'll open the floor.
Perfect.
What is your relationship with the city, and what is your relationship with the chamber?
So the San Rafael Business Improvement District is a program of the city. So the city implemented the business improvement district assessments. So the city is the one that said, yes, this is what we want. So it's a program of the city. When our funding was getting really low and really bad, the city said, let's take the business improvement district and turn it into a program under the chamber so it has extra support. Because again, I am a part-time employee. I only work 20 hours a week, and what I just went over is a lot. And I have a board and I have all these other administrative duties. And so by having the bid move under the chamber for the chamber to support us, was another thing that took place in 2023.
And that's where your offices are.
Yes. I have an office there.
Okay, great. I see a question from Daniel.
Hey, Sarah, thank you. Awesome presentation. I appreciate your connection to San Rafael and Petaluma. I am 70% here in San Rafael and 30% in Petaluma, actually. As president of the West End Neighborhood Association, I really, really want to stress rebranding the West End event. The True in West End begins west of H Street, and I really would wish, and I'm so hopeful that the rest of the city would understand that West End Village is truly downtown. And it's very frustrating for me to get a lot of feedback about issues in West End that actually belong to downtown. And I would love to see the West End event rebranded to something like maybe Downtown Village or something like that. I'm so focused on that and really getting people educated on the difference between downtown and the West End.
Oh, that's great. So
yeah, I can definitely connect you with Adam, who manages that, and rebranding. I think we had so many difficulties just trying to get it going and not get it stopped because that was happening too. But I think that if it continues, and I don't know if it will, that's something that I can connect you on Adam. He's the producer.
That's fantastic. Thank you.
Yeah.
I really appreciate what you've been doing and creating a vibe and interest into what we're doing in San Rafael. And I hear from you, branding is important, and for me it is too.
Yeah, no, definitely. And do you know Joel from the Rebound Bookstore?
I think I do.
You should connect with him. He's really great. He's very vocal about West End branding.
Downtown Village.
Yes. Yes, Downtown Village. Yes, that's we
Right.
did. No, we did do that. We did a West End Village. yeah, but yeah, I can connect you with him too.
We
He's
need to
great.
call it, we need to begin to call it Downtown Village.
Yeah.
That's great. Lori, go ahead. You're muted. Lori?
Sorry about that. Took me a second there. Can we get your direct email address? I don't want to have to go to your website and go run around because that'll never happen because I'm
Oh,
too busy.
sure. Yeah, I can put it in the chat. Is that helpful?
Or you can just tell it to me.
Oh, director@downtownsanrafael.org.
Downtown Santa Fe. Okay. And yes, you should put it in there also. That would be great. I'm sure everybody else would like that also.
Okay. Yeah, I'm happy to do that.
Ames still doing the farmers market?
They're pivoting. They're gonna do a second Friday
No.
summer market.
I know that part. I just want to know, are they still behind it?
Oh, are they still managing it? Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
That's what my comments will be about with you, because I love what you said afterwards, because I agree with you. I've been to pretty much every single one of those, and
Yeah.
this is not okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think if, as an event producer, if they were having a hard time and they need to pivot, that's fine. But they were saying that, it's just people didn't want to come out on Thursday. Well, they came out on Thursday before. So maybe, I don't know, maybe a new farmer's market person can come in on a Thursday because I'm going to miss it.
Yes, they came out on Thursdays, and for 2 months after the market closed down, they still had signs on the freeway that the streets are closed because of the market. And I was like, there is no market anymore.
Oh, that's a DPW error. They are having a hard time with those digital signs. So.
But they were just, yes, and I called them times. They had no idea what I was talking about.
Yeah. Oh gosh. I don't get me started on those digital signs. That's a city DPW thing.
But it hurt the vendors and everybody else.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
People get annoyed when they think the street's closed and it's not, or the other way around.
Or there's a big event happening this weekend, for example, and they can't figure out how to turn it on to say May Madness car show this Saturday.
No, I don't understand what's so difficult. Go get a 16-year-old kid.
Yeah,
All right, Lori, I'm going to thank you. We're going on to Joe. Joe's phone. Joe, unmute yourself. And are there any other hands if he's having a hard time? I'm going to skip because Joe, you have to unmute yourself. Kevin?
Oh, I just wanted to say that, wow, I can't imagine if you were working full-time, what you could do. This is terrific. I've lived in the city for 30 years out at the east end and I had no idea that I knew about a lot of these events, but not all of them. And I'm certainly going to get the word out in my neighborhood and my part of town as to the fact that this website exists with all this great information. Thank you for the work you do.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. And if there's anything that you want me to share and it's, fits the criteria, I'm happy to.
Great. And we'll also put your website on the Federation website.
Oh, cool.
Go ahead, Richard Falk.
Tipple, there's like 12 people on.
Richard.
Yeah. So, yeah, great presentation. I didn't know a lot of this information. I'm likewise, like Kevin and what Amy's talking about on our website for our LLHOA, going to, well, I'll talk to the board and see what we can do to promote this, but this is, it's an outstanding resource. So, and then I just had a few questions. So one is on when you make money from the events, is that coming from a combination of there are businesses or others that are contributing services or money, and then do people pay anything that I'm because most of the events don't sound like they would necessarily pay something. So do businesses that get something pay something? Where's the money coming from other than the pre-contributors?
That's a good question. So I'll start, each event has a little bit different tier system, but I'll start with May Madness because that's the biggest fundraiser. So we get money from car registration entry. We get money from sponsorship. We get money from exhibitors and crafters. We get money from food vendors that want to sell. And then we get money on the day of through our beverage income. So there's 5 sources of income. And so, but that event also costs a lot to produce. It has a lot of expenses and the promotion and the porta-johns and the debris boxes and the cleaning crew and the cups and you know, I mean, it's a lot to put on, but luckily we do have a really great supportive community that really loves being a part of this event. And if you go to maymadnesssanrafael.com, you can see all the really cool sponsors that help support it. For the Hops and Vine Stroll, when I pair a winery and brewery with a different business, that business does have to pay to be a part of it. So it varies depending on if it's like the stateroom, if they're going to be pouring their own beer, for example, then we only charge them, I think it depends, every year we change it, but it's like only like $50, right? But then if you're a jeweler and then I have to provide you with the beer or the wine, then it's $100, you know, so then we get money from that. And then we also get our money from our ticket sales and sponsorship as well, because we sell sponsorship for logo inclusion and glassware inclusion. And then similar to that with the scavenger hunts that we do, with the artistic ones, we also, if you want to get on the map, you have to pay. And we were fortunate where we only had to charge about $50 per location because we did have some grant money that we were able to use, but next year we won't have that. So it'll probably be about $100 for the businesses to get on there.
Right. So it's kind of like an sort of like an advertising fee for them so that people
Exactly.
come into
Yeah. And they love it.
the whole
Yeah,
purpose is that people come to their business and know about it. And then the last question was from the map of what's part of this. It looked like it's primarily 4th Street driven, but that premium section had half the street, you know, half the vendors, because on the same extension of the building for like 3rd and 5th Streets or what.
Mm-hmm.
So is that, I'm a little confused.
That's the standard is like the outskirts, and then the bulk of it is the premium.
Yeah, but that premium, no, I mean, I got that part.
Oh, yeah.
The premium was wider and included businesses that were also on, it looked like they were on, or at least the building extended to be like on 3rd and 5th, not just on 4th. And I thought, well, that's strange. And only half the side of the street on 3rd and 5th are there. Or is it just the way the map was drawn that it was colored in? Because you could see it, it's colored
Yeah.
in 3rd and 5th.
It is on 3rd and 5th as well for the premium. But yeah, I mean, we only have about.
But events you usually do mostly on, it's really 4th Street is what I've seen for.
Yeah, but anybody that's within the boundary can participate in the other ones where there's not a street closure, like any of the scavenger hunt ones that we do. Anybody can participate in that.
Oh, I see, because so people can go around to the other street.
Yeah, but the street closures, you know, like the May Madness,
but other things
right.
I see how that would work.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
That's great. Thank you, Richard. Sharma?
Yeah, what happened to the Italian street painting?
That was an event. So
Yeah.
that event was produced by Youth and Arts, the nonprofit. They exist on C Street. What happens with events, event production is extremely time consuming and extremely expensive. And what happened with that was they were putting so much energy and time into creating this event, and they weren't making any money. And what ended up happening was, and you can talk to Youth and Arts directly, I don't really want to speak for them, but I know Morgan really well, and this is what I've been told, is that what happens is when you're spending so much time on an event, you can't work on your other programs, and you can't work on your other classes and all the other elements of what you want to do to help promote and market or get your mission statement accomplished. And so that nonprofit, they weren't making money, and it took up too much of their time. So what are you supposed to do? How, you know, and again, and I don't know if you're there in the beginning, a lot of people think I work for the city. I don't work for the city. I work for 3 different nonprofit organizations. Cities don't produce events. So when people say, why doesn't the city do it? Who at the city is going to do it? Most events are done by nonprofit organizations to bring people to downtown to promote and market and revitalize their area.
Thank you. Are there any other questions at this point? If not, I'm just want to thank you. Everything that was said, and Kate Powers is writing something in chat. Thank you for sharing this info and website resources. I love your enthusiasm, Sarah. I think we all do. We simply can't believe what it is that you're accomplishing. And I'll send out, once we get this video online, I'll send it out to our neighborhood organizations and urge them to put it on their websites as well. So thank you very much for attending, and I will stop the recording now.